Okay, so I'm going to give it to you. The first one is in standard form. I'm going to ask you guys to find all of the key features as well as all the forms. Okay, can someone raise their hand and tell me what's something I can easily find? Very good, the y-intercept. Okay, we just talked about it for the quiz. Here's my y-intercept. So I don't have to do anything, I can just identify it. So that is one of my ordered pairs. When x is 0, y is negative 12. And I can graph that. Where x is 0 and y is negative 12 right here. Okay, nothing else is kind of easy. Everything else requires me to do some work here. I'm going to write this in vertex form. It's going to be super fun. We're going to remember how to complete the square. So we're going to draw our box. So I have x squared, I have negative x, and I have, remember I'm going to have to write something here, but right now it's negative 12. And the purpose of trying to complete the square is to make it a perfect square. Right now this trinomial is a rectangular area of a rectangle, and I want to make it an area of a square. In order to do that, I need each the length to match. So I take this middle term and I cut it in half. So it's half of 1. 0.5. And because the 0.5, I'm sorry, the 1 is negative, the 0.5s need to be negative. So I have negative 0.5 and negative 0.5. Now, since my new length of this is negative 0.5 and negative 0.5, what really should go in this box? What's 5 times 5? 25. And so it's 0.25. Yep. And I need my 0.25 to actually be negative 12. Okay. So I actually have to take away negative 12.25 to make that equal. Or if that's confusing to you, here, make this one negative inside the little box and then combine these like terms. Move this all the way over here. I'm going to write, so it's going to be f of x equals x, this length of my sides are at x minus 0.5. Squared. And then negative 12 and negative 2.5 is negative 12.25. So that's vertex form. Any questions over that? Half of the middle, right? Because we want it to be matching on both sides. And matching means you take half of it. So then my vertex, Aaron, what's my vertex in this equation then? Aaron, I'm talking to Aaron. 0.5 and negative 12.25. Okay, remember you change the sign here. Of the 0.5 and then the same sign of the y value. So over here I have 0.5 and then negative 12.25. So 1/2 A half is right here, and negative 12.25 is just slightly below the 12, negative 12. Now when we're graphing that, we need to go back to the original here. And our A value is right there. Our axis of symmetry is the same as this is, 0.5. Our A value is 1, because that's what the number is in front of the x squared. If there was a 2 there, then the A value would be 2. So that means my parabola is facing up. That means my vertex is a minimum, the lowest point on my graph. And now I'm going to use my A value, so it's A over 1 and 3A over 1 to graph this, and 5A over 1. Now this is going to be a little bit tricky because I'm going to never be on a line. I'm always going to be kind of in the middle of it. So I have to go over 1 and then up 1. Over 1 and up 1. Then I'm going to, so this is 1 and 1. Then I'm going to go over 1 and up 3. Over 1 and up 3. Then over 1 and up 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. I believe that's right. Over 1 and up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and that's my parabola. That's as good as we're going to get here. We could keep going and do 7 and 9 as well, but I'm going to run out of room on my graph. Okay, well that didn't help me much with my x-intercepts. So now I have to try and find my x-intercepts. Anyone have an idea as to how I can find my x-intercepts? I'd have to plug in 0 for y though, which is different. It's harder to do that than, anyone have another idea how to find the x-intercepts? Someone was saying it over here. Factor it. I have to factor it out to get it in factored form, because once I see it in factored form, I know I can find it in my x-intercepts from that. So we're going to factor this, x squared, negative x, negative 12. Remember, we're looking for the length of the sides here. So multiplies to x squared is x times x. What multiplies to 12? Oh, is that going to work for this? I can show you. 6 times x is 6x. X and 2 is 2x. If I subtract them, do I get 1? Nope. So we have to erase that. So what else multiplies? 4 and 3. So I'm going to get 4x and 3x. Okay, if I subtract them, do I get 1? Okay, the 4 needs to be negative. That means this 4 is negative and this 3 is positive. One of them needs to be negative to get a negative x. The 4 is bigger, so I need it to be a negative. So factored form is f of x equals x minus 4 times x plus 3. That's my factored form. Then I can find my x-intercepts. Janie, what's my x-intercepts? Try that again. Very good. So do you have your notes? Okay. So we're at -3, which is here, and +4 is here. So my parabola would eventually hit that. Those points. I'll extend it just so it shows that it is. So those are other ordered pairs that I have. When x is 4, y is 0. When x is -3, y is 0. Okay, I think I found everything, right? Yes, look at us. We did one. Yay. Okay, we're going to do the next one. Go to B. You need to fix the vertex form here. Change yours to look like mine. You have a 3 here, make it a 4. That was a bad problem I gave you, so this will make it much easier. So everyone change that 3 to a 4. Okay, now we need to identify the vertex. Isaac, what's the vertex? So my vertex here is -2 and 4. Remember, this is changing the sign. And this is the same sign. Okay, so we have that as our vertex. That also gives me my axis of symmetry as x equals -2, because it's the same as this. Okay, I'm going to graph that point. And you go where x is -2 and y is -4. No, +4, right? Yeah. I'm going to add it to my ordered pair, -2 and 4. Then we look at the a value. The a value is right here. A equals -1. That means my parabola is facing down. So this is a maximum. So it's my vertex is a maximum. Okay, then we can graph the rest of this. I like graphing, I like having it in vertex form. I think it's much easier than anything else. So I'm going to have a over 1, then 3a over 1, then 5a over 1. So we have -1 over 1, then 3 times -1 over 1, then 5 times -1 over 1. So I'm going to go over to the left one and down 1. Over to the right 1 and down 1. Then 3 times -1 is -3. Then we go over to the right 1 and down 3. Over to the right 1 and down 3. I'm going to do it one more time and go over to the right 1 and down 5. This way and down 5. So this is my parabola. I can identify a lot of things now that I've graphed it. I can identify the x-intercepts. Very good. So my x-intercepts are right here. So at -4 and 0 and 0, 0. I can even identify the y-intercepts because it crosses the y-axis at 0, 0 as well. I can write this in factored form too, right? Yes. My 2 parentheses will be here. It's going to be x plus 4. Remember, you change the sign. And then x plus 0. So this is my factored form. Any questions over that? Anyone have an idea of how I can write it in standard form now? No ideas? I can take this all right here, move it up here, and multiply it, right? Find the area of that square, or that rectangle in this case. So I have x plus 4, and then x plus 0. I need us to quiet down, you guys. Okay, multiply it out. X times x is x squared. Then 4 times x is 4x. X times 0 is 0 x's. And 4 times 0 is 0. Mm-hmm. You don't have to. So I'm going to have f of x equals x squared. 0x and 4x is 4x. And you can put plus 0, but not necessary. Any questions over that? Okay, next one. Okay, I was given it in factored form. Tori, what can I figure out easily from factored form? Okay, and what are the x-intercepts then? Very good. -6, 0, and -2, 0. So I'm going to graph those. I'm going to go x is -6 and y is -2. Taylor, what can we find now? Okay, and what is it? Four. So it's at -4 here is the axis of symmetry. That means the vertex has an x value of -4. Sebastian, what's the A value? 2. Our A value is 2. It's facing up because it's positive, therefore it's a minimum. So this is at -4, and we're looking for it. So I have to work backwards. It's a over 1, 3a over 1, then 5a over 1. Since I have the a value to be 2, it's 2 over 1, then 3 times 2 over 1, then 5 times 2 over 1. And I have to work backwards. So I'm 2 away from the axis of symmetry. That means I need to use those first 2 backwards. So I'm going to go down 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and over 1. And then down 6 on the other side and over 1. Then down 2 and over 1. Down 2 and over 1. Oopsie. Yeah, thank you. So this is my parabola. Any questions over that? Okay, I have a bunch of ordered pairs I can write in here. Oh, so our y value then is at -8 for my vertex. So I have -4, -8. My x-intercepts are -6 and 0, and -2 and 0. I also have other points here, right here and here, which would be at -5 and -6. Bless you. And then at -3 and -6. Any questions over that? Okay. Next. The next thing that would probably be easy would be vertex form, because I have the vertex now. Remember, this is the basic form of a quadratic in vertex form. So f of x equals a times the quantity of x minus h squared plus k. Your hk is your vertex, and then your a value is your a value. So you just plug it in. So you have f of x equals my a value of 2 times x minus, my h value is -4, so when I plug it in, it becomes +4. Remember, it changes signs. And then minus my k value is -8, so -8. So that's vertex form. Any questions over that? So now we need to find standard form. Okay, I have my factored form. So I can just take my factored form and bring it up here and then multiply it out. Okay, so I have my box. My length of my sides are x plus 6 and x plus 2. X times x is x squared. 6 times x is 6x. And x times 2 is 2x. and then 6 times 2 is 12. So then I have x squared. I'm going to combine my like terms here. Plus 8x plus 12. But don't forget that I also had that 2, the a value of 2 that I had to multiply through. So I'm going to get f of x equals 2 times the x squared is 2x squared. 2 times 8x is 16x's. And then 2 times 12 is 24. Last but not least is the y-intercept. Class, what's the y-intercept? 24. This is the final one. So it's 0, 24. And look at us finding all kinds of fun stuff. Yes. And so now we found all of this information based on just one form of the quadratic equation. It's pretty impressive, you guys. Okay. Now I just give you the x-intercepts and the stretch of -2. You guys try and find things. Give me anything and everything you can find right now. Oh, you write down.